Cool, man. Let's get rocking and rolling. So today we're going to be talking about the new VOC, why AI-led teams are shifting from NPS to customer stories. To do that, we brought on Fran, CEO of Hark. Fran, when did we meet each other? Was it that time you came to Salt Lake with Tanner? It was, wasn't it?
The first time. We definitely, met around close circles, like, I think we were on calls together, but the first time we met, you ordered a lot of pizza and, had a big lunch together, yeah.
And then we hung out at the US Open, man. That was fun.
That was a ton of fun. Yeah, I mean, being in New York and getting to go to Queens and experiencing that was awesome.
My goodness, that was like bucket list. That was so
Yeah.
cool. Fun audience. That was like that was the semifinals. Oh man.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I've known Fran for a little while, doing some cool stuff. And honestly, every time I come across one of your customers, man, they like love it.
Best It is the best part. It's awesome. Never gets old.
I was just thought it was maybe just a one off, but it's now happened like 5 times. I was literally just on the call with Kate from Terra Cafe, and I was like, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you about something else." And she's like, "But Fran." No, I mean, honestly, but that I'm sure that I could give 3 examples, but that's not the call today. But tell us, for those, tell us just a little about yourself and what you guys are doing at Arc, man.
Yeah, of course. I mean, shout out to Kate and all the customers. It's, like, the most fulfilling part of this whole journey. Yeah. I'm obsessed with customer feedback. Like, that's what it really comes down to. My team and I are on the forefront of how people are changing the way they communicate. I think I'll use a dramatic term, but, like, offensive when I get a email in my inbox saying, "We want your feedback. Take 5 minutes. Take a questionnaire." I just think as consumers, we know the playbook. We see the playbook. We're tired of it. And I just think as we move forward in this world of AI, the customer voice is going to be valued more than ever. And I'm trying to figure out ways to get that in front of people where they just can't ignore it because I think it drives innovation, growth. And what I didn't realize starting Hark was say, not customer centricity to be buzzwordy, but culture change. I mean, I've had customers call me and be like, this is a culture change tool. Like the way that we're doing things is different. And it gives me the chills, man.
Fascinating. What is that? Because I want to dive deeper into this, your frame of thinking and kind of how you guys are doing the Hark thing. Just give me the origin story real quick. I mean, it seems like you have a passion. Was this a you stumbled upon, like, how did you get this idea? How did you Hark
Yeah.
this?
I worked in startups for over a decade. I've got a weird background. It's very go to market and product heavy. And in the product role I was at, I was focused on AI and ML before what it is now. And we were training our own model. And I was dying for customer feedback and I was trying to get it. And all the survey tools just feel the same. Some are more dynamic than others. But the problem I was facing is when I get the feedback, it's a multiple choice or a checkbox. And it just wasn't, I couldn't feel the empathy behind it, right? Like I could get stats, but they didn't always roll up to what I needed. It just like dawned on me. And I started thinking on that. I'm like, well, the whole world is on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Like if you zoom out from this whole thing, there are more human beings on earth than ever before. And that human voice can be amplified more than ever before. Humans want to feel heard. They want to engage, and they're just sick of being like a plain text, multiple choice or a checkbox. So that's when Hark started. And I went out and I started the company, and we wanted to just prove would people change their behavior when engaging with brands specifically. Like when I met Kate and some others, they brought us on and we worked on the support journey. And all we were obsessed with was like, could we get them to do video and audio? And what would that yield? And it yielded a whole new VOC. Like Hark took on the form of like a verb. And my customers were saying, hey, I'm sharing Hark's with the leadership team. Or I had board members from our companies reach out and say, we always go through NPS, but I'm getting like a whole new level of detail. What is this Hark thing? And that's
Yeah.
where I knew we were onto something. And we brought on a full technical team and we built the infrastructure to power what we have now, which is a whole next gen, like voice of customer for the people.
I'm excited to dive into that. That's cool. Yeah, I think maybe you had mentioned that a while back, but it's been a while. It's funny though. It's on the go to market side. Like that is true. That's my background. Marketing and sales. And yeah, like in SaaS companies in general, the bigger you get, the further away from the customer you get. And again, this is not necessarily just brands. I mean, I think there's a problem across the board. The bigger a company gets, sometimes the more you forget about the customer. It is pretty hard, like as a product marketer, as a marketing leader, to find just great ways to get feedback from customers and kind of stay close to them because you get, lost in the weeds, the strategy, the offsites, whatever it might be. So that didn't fall on deaf ears. So let's dive into this just a little bit more. You kind of set it up, but I'd love to kind of dive a little deeper into this. So you were talking about traditional feedback or how most teams kind of collect feedback.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about some of the traditional survey idea, but I'd love to hear a little bit more, like, what do you feel like is the fundamental problem when it comes to customer feedback right now?
Fundamental problem is I think we're treating brand loyalty as a numeric value or a thumbs up and thumbs down. When you distill the customer voice into a checkbox or a multiple choice, the part that it cascades into within the organizations is when a customer experience or an insights leader goes to share a trend. People are looking at another Tableau or another Looker dashboard or another data point. You get this pushback of like, is it statistically significant or not? As operators, like we're still scrolling, man. Like we're on the phone, we're doing all that kind of stuff. And I know because I see it time after time, it stops you in your tracks when you hear the way that people talk about things, right? So like Hark, we do a lot of video. These companies can't watch a million videos every day, right? Like
Sure.
we do the topic analysis, we do the sentiment analysis, we do the modeling. So we tell you where the root cause issues are, but we do in this like Netflix style where when you can bring empathy to a trend, like our leading indicator of success is when someone gets a Hark and they share it internally with another department. It's always, where did you get this data? Like, how'd you get that? You know, when people sign up to join one of these companies, you sign up because you believe in the mission. Like I know when you signed up for Signals, you were so jazzed about that. And when you distill these people down, the customers into a multiple choice or a checkbox, you lose that. But when you see it and you feel it, there's a whole like it makes you feel better about your job. It makes you feel better about, oh, I worked on that project. We launched that. Look at how these people are interacting with it. You know, like that's a whole
Yeah,
thing.
lifeblood of an organization, right? You just feel it, man. You just
Feel it. You feel it. And that's where you get the culture change. The thing that came up after I started Hark, a lot of people would reference Jeff Bezos gave this quote of like, give me a customer anecdote of our data point any day. And that wasn't the antithesis of like why I started this thing, but it holds very true. Like when you share this stuff with leadership and they can infer and make decisions that way, it's a no brainer. Like the value exchange we give is so different from another like AI feedback synthesis model.
fascinating. Do you feel like it's the let's continue. I'd like to dive in a little deeper. One of the things you've been pretty vocal on is the concept of NPS.
Yeah.
Do not be a huge fan. Yes or no? No, but when you kind of look at the typical CX dashboard today, what is kind of the fake versus the real on that, and how do you kind of place NPS in that framework?
I will be very clear. A lot of people are loud about NPS is not the metric you should follow anymore. And then they don't do anything about it.
Yeah,
So that's not me. Like I'm not, I think NPS was actually really smart when it came out. But when it came out, I was logging in and infesting. I was talking at an event about this and it kind of like came up, but I was infesting my parents' computer with LimeWire. Like I was sitting down and checking my email and going through it line by line. And that's when people would respond to and be like, oh, this is interesting. It was actually a very clever way to say, what is our brand loyalty for these people that we don't know about? I thought that was actually really smart.
yeah,
What I'm after now is I don't think like I hear it all the time is okay, our NPS score is 85. What do the comments say? There's ways you can drill down for sure, and you can get to what's driving that potentially. But I hear a lot more people saying, so what? Like, okay, it dipped a little bit. What does that do for our company? So what I'm after is how do we find a different source of engagement and use AI to understand maybe you don't want to send surveys at this point. Survey fatigue is a real thing, and I'll explain why I think that is. But I think we have to be very conscious about where can we analyze enough with AI to understand and then reach out for pointed questions and have people feel like we're pulling them in to be part of the company? That's brand loyalty. Like that's retention versus a triggered event saying, you've been with us for 3 months. How likely you refer us to a friend? I was
yeah.
talking to a CMO the other day. He sells erectile dysfunction pills. No one wants to refer that to a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's interesting. Like, I thought the concept was really tight when it came out and it was smart, but we need to evolve.
That's awesome. Talented, but yeah, it does, I guess, break down in certain instances. And LimeWire, that is a good that was a good program, though, you gotta admit, man. There was something it infests computers, though. It's more than just the downloaded video. So yeah, so the question itself, I liked your point. It does feel like some of us, I've probably been in that boat where you kinda, like, knock NPS, you're like, "Ah, it's stupid." But then you don't know what to do after, or you don't
Yeah.
really recommend something.
Dude, we do NPS. Like we do, like if you want to do NPS and you use it as a metric, we do it. But what we get is so much richer. Like people share these heartfelt stories. They can become testimonials for your company. Or if you get really like creative with it and they do a 1 to a 3, ask them like, here's a direct line to leadership. Tell us exactly what happened. People will respond to that. So anyway, that's what I mean. I don't want to knock it and be like, it's the worst thing in the world. I don't think it is, but I just think it's misused.
Yeah, but I'd like your people do wanna kinda they actually wouldn't mind the survey. It's hard to do these days, but actually that word like direct line to leadership, that's cool. And maybe see if you can help me visualize this a little bit more. So, or via an example. So you see teams, they get this customer feedback. It feels like it's kind of real. You mentioned a little bit of a culture change. I'm interested to maybe hear an example of how you've seen that play, or what does that change look like?
Yeah. There's a few. So a very good example is we work with a direct to consumer food brand, and they brought us on. They were getting like I remember the meeting too when they were evaluating Hark. They're like, I just don't know what this is going to tell us that we don't already know. Like we have a data analyst, we have a looker dashboard. All right, let's just try it. So they bring it on and they start reaching out to customers with Hark specifically for more feedback about new product launches. And I went to go visit them after the first 2 months of working together. And there was a big whiteboard behind us. And the senior VP of digital pointed to it and she was like, Fran, we've never had these kind of discussions before. And these are across a lot of different departments. So the biggest change I see is a cross departmental collaboration completely shift and change to focus in on that customer experience is having a moment where they are being drawn in by retention marketers more and more. 'Cause CAC, as we know, has gotten so high. It is so imperative and important to understand the journey of the customer and really understand those cohorts and what's driving repeat purchases or not. So those are like really big ones where you can show a theme and you can show the data and then you can hear how people are talking about it. Like we had one of our customers launch a new product based off of two harks. It was not statistically significant, but they rose above the noise and their leadership team was smart enough to infer and they made a move. And that's why they're going to win because they
When you say 2 harks, again, it would be like it's it's this video feedback thing, and it was deep enough, and the data was the surrounding information was good enough that, yeah, with 2 data points, they were like, "You know what? We're going."
we're going. We're going. So, I mean, then there's other parts that like you'd hear with more, like one of our customers, when people were going to subscribe, the menu wasn't showing up. It was hurting conversion. We surfaced it. They put the menu up, conversion increased. So there's things like that all the time. But I think what the reason why we win and you hear the customer love we have is because when you share this stuff internally, you get that kind of reaction. That's why you do this stuff. So
I love it. That makes sense. I think people get so excited and they feel like they're making a difference and they feel close to the customer that it does kind of have that cultural change. AI is obviously a big thing everywhere, and there's noise all across the CX space. You guys do a lot with this kind of ingesting of data and text. And where does AI? I mean, it feels like there's an AI player. How does that work? I'd love to dive a little deeper into the AI piece, but hit that first.
I appreciate it. I think one of the biggest misconstrued things about Hark, like people come in and like, oh, you do video and audio. This is interesting. Like, how does this all work? And they don't realize like we have an AI native classification platform that we take in copious amounts of data from disparate data sources and normalize that to show you trends. Like we are your one source of truth. When you start to get the multimodal data, qualitative data before Hark was just multiple choice or a checkbox. Like I'm trying to redefine what's qualitative data really mean and how do you marry that with the quantitative to tell the full story. So again, like I mentioned this earlier, you might get hundreds or thousands of videos back in a survey, but where the AI is really good is deciphering like what are people not saying and understanding that, and then putting these things together, like mashing them together into potential highlight reels or sharing them like a significant one-offs. You know, we can do all kinds of stuff in our platform that isn't video and audio related, but the video and audio is so important because people just talk. Like I'm doing now, I'm talking it, I'm going on. We want that context.
Yeah, once you get them on, right, they're pretty you'd be surprised where they go, I'm sure, right, with the information. Do you find when you guys kind of partner with brands, is it a little bit of a combo here, but you end up a lot of the value is taking some of the video transcription, the text, the audio, and then putting that in a different format that the brand can get? Or is it trying to kind of break up like a video and break it into snippets and grab those kind of core moments and give that video to the brand so that they can kind of see the whites of the eyes of the where do you feel like the biggest impact?
It's a bit of both, man. The former that you said about breaking it up, like I'll give you an example. We were just on a call with Ren from Hello Tushy, and she was explaining to us how she went from tagging to custom fields to Hark. And she doesn't have to do any of that manual work anymore because Hark services what she needs and it can give her a visual where she needs it. So a lot of the magic is when people give you this new layer of context, like our transcripts are this long. What are they meaning to say in that? Are there different entities that we want to extract to tell that story? And how do we tell it? It's always best to hear in their own words, but again, people don't like they can't watch 2 minute long videos to
Yeah,
like
that's the key. That's kinda where I was going. That makes
so yeah, it's a bit of both, but it's like, here's what you need to know, and if you need to know more, you will not find a platform that gets you more context than ours.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, continue on with the AI things. So a ton of AI hype, a lot of it in this VOC space. Curious what you would kinda say is what's the noise and the not the noise, in kind of this area of VOC with AI?
Yeah. The most important thing with all of this is salient data. So you can offer chat, you can offer building reports. One of our customers came on over to us because she's like, I've got other team members that are asking questions to the platform and it's not giving them the right results. And I have to like do more work to
Mhm.
rectify it
Yep.
than not. Right. So when she came to us, that was like a big part of it for her. She wanted to gain that trust. I think trust is the cornerstone behind AI today. So that's first and foremost. And we delayed that launch for a long time because we want to make sure that the topic modeling and the infrastructure was there. The other part to that is I think the first party data has to change. Like if you're integrating all these different disparate data sources, that's fine. But if you have low contextual data, you're going to have low contextual insights.
Yeah.
So that's why we took a longer approach and a meatier one. But if we get this thing right, which we seem to be doing, you have so much more data to analyze.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, it does seem like this. I mean, CX in general, AI, but voice of customer, yeah, it's coming, kind of coming your way fast. A lot of people listening, I think a lot of people are trying to start their journey and dive deeper into VOC. They're probably in that kind of survey plus NPS land. How do you kind of coach people to get going if they want to make a change and start shifting from that score based model, into that story based model?
Yeah.
What's the crawl, walk, run there, so to say?
Yeah. It works for us really well. We'll come in and do a campaign. Like, what is some stuff that you're trying to hear? The bar is so low. Like, what are you going to lose? Right now, you're getting a 5% survey response rate. Like, are you doing anything with that? Usually, people are like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Like, let's try it. And we stand behind our
Check
product.
them off.
So let's come in. We'll do the heavy lifting for you. And let's see what you get back. And then you put it on your contact us page. Let's see what people say when they come in. That's fascinating. And again, that's why our leading indicator is like when they get one of those moments and they share it, it hits. So then we'll do like a very closed loop of like, okay, well, with this data, here are the insights that we pulled. How does this look compared to what you have? Each of our companies have their own model, right? So like we can start to conform with the model and talk in their terms and all of these things. But usually from the onset, they're like, wow, this is like 90% of the way there. And I didn't even give you a taxonomy or anything. Again, it's all trust. Like, let's just bring you in, gain your trust. And if something doesn't go well, because it's software, this stuff doesn't always go well. When you Slack us, we will be there. When you email us, we are there, no doubt. We stand behind it. So I think like that's the big thing with the community is they're like, okay, like heart is for the people, like they have our backs. And that is so important, especially right now for CX leaders.
Dude, yeah, and, eating your own dog food, right? This is something like they say. It sounds like you guys live the yeah, if we're gonna be all for the customers, we might as well be all for the customers. Cool, man. Well, super fun to kinda chat. Again, been watching your journey, and it's fun to see, the meteoric rise or, whatever it is up into the right. So congratulations what you guys are doing. You're making some cool noise. If someone wants to connect with you, learn a little more about Hark, what's the best way to do that?
Like, hey, I mean, I'm all over there. F Brisky is my name. If you just type in Hark, you'll see us come up, or just like come in through our website, and one of us will get in touch with you.
Cool, man. Well, again, appreciate you taking the time. For the audience, have a fantastic day.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks.